Hello, YouTube. My name is Alan Barr, Internal Tools Platform Product Manager. Excited to talk to you today about should you build an internal developer platform? Now, this is not something that's super common that anybody needs or wants to do, but it does come up in an enterprise, especially in 2021. You know, technology is amazing, wonderful, but the more you build of it, the more you have to maintain, the more that it is difficult to get up to the latest and greatest. And there is a lot of, easy things to do to make developers more productive that we are not leveraging as an industry just yet. So this is the brand new frontier. But the question you should really ask is, should you build your own? Should you start from scratch? Should you run Kubernetes the hard way? I don't recommend that, but we'll go into it and you'll have to decide, what are your constraints and what's going to be best for your business, your team, who you're trying to serve, how you're trying to help them. And so as we get into it, you want to do a lot of things. And the big challenge is that with any internal developer platform effort, you want to ask for a lot of time, and you want to make sure that you are, you're going to be going from 0 to 1 on a product. And the danger you have is that, people can get lost in that journey. Not everyone's great at taking a product from 0 to 1. There's a lot of ambiguity involved in that type of development. And then once you do finally find that product market fit with your internal users, or maybe you're offering it as a service, you want to consider offering it as a service, commercializing it, then you have to think about growth and acquisition and getting people to use it and adoption and fielding the requests and changing it. So there's a lot of things going on. You're basically asking to go on this massive journey that a lot of other people went on, and I would definitely recommend looking at what's on the market and whether it's going to solve your needs or not. So the reason why I recommend that is because let's say that you decide that you and your team want to run Kubernetes the hard way, install it from scratch, have it manage all the certificates in your enterprise. You want to learn how to do persistent volumes. It sounds so cool. Oh my gosh, storage and S3 and all these things you can do with it. All those things are still not giving value to your users. So the risk that you face is that you could be spending a lot of fun times playing with technology, learning how it works, and no one's really using what you've built. And that's not great. You might have people that are sponsoring your project that are waiting. They're like, what, is this happening? Are we going to get value out of this thing? Like, how's it going? Do you know what you and your team are wanting to build? I've definitely run into that challenge myself when building my own internal developer platform that's strictly on premises. And the reason why is that we work in this regulated environment. So I don't have access to all the tools and toys that I could have just purchased. If I could have purchased a tool on the market, a tool like a Humanitech that I could have just started from scratch and, built that layer of the platform on top of it without having to do all that hard work, worrying about hiring, who's going to run this, all that kind of stuff, it would have been great. It would have been wonderful. I could have started at that higher level. I wasn't able to do that personally, but I'm recommending to you, if you run into this situation where you can pursue something you can build on top of, I would highly recommend that you consider it. And the reason why you should consider it is because you can reduce a lot of the risks in a project. Because when you go on this journey, a lot of it is controlling the narrative around what you're building, how much it costs, whether it's worth it, is the value being delivered. And that's what a lot of the senior level people in your organization might be worried about, is that the validation is happening, that you're working on the right things, that the project is continuing, in a good, understandable, progressive manner. No one wants surprises. They want to make sure that they can help. And then you might also be dealing with internal issues around services that you would need to integrate with that are not in your direct sphere of influence. So there's lots of challenges and complications. And the more that you can leverage, cloud technologies, that you don't have to negotiate for time and expertise, then it'll probably go way smoother. But one thing I recommend starting with to be successful on this kind of project is starting with a narrative. It doesn't need to be like the Amazon 6-pager format. It could be one that I like to use called a vivid vision. And the idea behind that is you just make it really clear, super duper obnoxiously obvious as to what are you building. And the reason why this is important is because the people you work with don't know, they can't read your brain, they don't have all the expertise, maybe they don't have all the experiences that you have. So I'm going to pull this up real quick and you'll see this is a image that I made before I made the Vivid Vision when we were working through this 0 to 1 kind of prototype, and we were trying to ask people that we were working with, like, what do you think that we're building? And there were people that weren't super sure. They were thinking, well, actually, it's a container as a service, or it's an infrastructure as a service. We're only going to do this, we're only going to do that, and many of those weren't what we were thinking we were building. I wasn't thinking what I wanted to build. What I wanted to build was something that the developers, people that I work with, I want to serve and give value to be frank, they do not want to learn kubectl. They don't want to learn dealing with YAML manifests. It's not their cup of tea. They want to build cool products for people. That's what they want to do. And those things can definitely help them be successful and move forward, but it's not their strength zone. It's not what they want to do. And I want to be glad to provide this platform that you don't need to do all those things. You don't need to bring all that stuff. We'll do it for you. That's great. So that's what we had to do. That's what I did with my team is we crafted this, narrative, and we shared it with everybody, and we all got on the same page. We got on the same page about what we were building. So it was better understood. So looking back, I definitely recommend that if you're going to go on this journey, start with a narrative that's really clear, get everybody on the same page, and then go forth and build. And then the second thing I would recommend is definitely consider finding and talking to other people that have gone on a journey like this, because a lot of the success around building a platform internally is around project design. And when I say project design, I mean designing the system that describes what you're building to stakeholders in the organization so that you can control the narrative and that you look like a rose constantly. Essentially, people are going to be wanting to hear about friction and frustration and blockers and problems, and you don't want to get to a stage of building this thing and they don't know, they couldn't help you, there was a problem, and you're going to run into conflict, you're going to run into resources that you can't access and use. So I definitely recommend reach out to people that have gone on this journey before. They can provide resources and help. Things that I've asked and had to do was like, I need time. I need a lot of time. We don't really know how much time this is going to take. Based on other resources I found online of companies that have gone through platform transformations, it seems like 18 to 24 months is about the time to go from 0 to 1 to general available, and then to expansion, to getting everything that was on the old systems onto the new systems. And I don't think that's going to ever really change in technological history in the future. Sure, there'll be easier technologies, but essentially, getting the bottleneck is getting people to change their habits. And I know technologists, we think, oh, we love to learn, we do all these things, but it still takes time to learn. It still takes time to get these habits in place. So the second thing I recommend is, cast a big vision, focus on the outcomes. If you are a product manager or you're building this thing, you might be highly technical. You might know a lot of things, but try to step back from how much you know and focus on what you want, and let the people around you come to you with how to implement that. Because why close it off for them. Give them the ability to know and learn all the latest and greatest tools and techniques, and that way you and your product can benefit from leveraging those things. There's a million ways to accomplish anything, and it's a creative field. We want to empower the people doing the work to make the best decisions. And if you are a product manager, just focus on that, vision. And, something I've learned is videos like this, marketing, testimonials, really simple stuff that really helps continue the momentum. And then finally, what I would recommend is to listen to your stakeholders and tell them, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, those are great points. But understand that the most vocal people are power users, and those are not often the features you really want to build. That's not really the platform you want to build. And that can be pretty hard because they're so vocal. They're giving you so much great feedback. Oh, this is very interesting. But what I've found is I'll listen to a lot of that feedback and I'll say, well, let me see what the people want or what they're asking for, what they actually do, and to create some metrics, create some ways to gauge satisfaction, send out surveys, have user interviews, and find out what they really want to do or use or try. Because what I've learned is that, I definitely hear a lot of strong opinions, and then at the end of the day, what people actually use, it can be completely different. It's totally like in a different realm than I even expected. So this is just kind of summing up an article I wrote about basically saying your internal developer platform sucks, because mine did suck, and a lot of people's do suck. And what I want you to not do, my call to action to you, is to not just give people kubectl. Like, do not just give people the tools to do whatever they need to do. Like, that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is to build tools that people want to use, and you can definitely use something straight out of the box from AWS and build on top of that, but still don't give them the command line access directly to those things and call it a day. What we're here to do is to build something that people will want to use, that they can give you feedback that you can improve, and that you can improve over time and make better and more exciting and fun and great. That'll help them do their jobs. Because, the computing industry is so wide and broad, and there's a lot of commodity use cases, but there's going to be really niche things that only you and your org really care about, and you may not be able to find that on the market directly. I definitely recommend you look at the market, see if there's something that can solve your most broad commodity use case, and then build the platform on top of that. So what I recommend for you is to find people that have gone on this journey. It's not rare. It's not uncommon. People don't write a lot about this. That's okay, but they do exist. These are the same kinds of journeys people and enterprises go through all the time. Get help, get feedback, listen to others, learn about project design. The book Writing Software is phenomenal about software project design. And if you cannot build it yourself, try not to, and build something great. Cast a big vision, like real big. Like don't be scared of it being too big, because all it will do is will help excite people and get them empowered and feel like that they can build this really big, audacious project with you, and then be realistic about how much you can do within the time that you have, with the teams that you have, and choose, meaty problems that actually solve user issues. Because why not? Why not help people? Let's help people. That's what we're here for. So I hope that helps you. This has been a wild journey. 10 months. I got to GA with my internal developer platform. Super exciting. I recommend checking out internaldeveloperplatform.org. And this is a really beneficial resource. I'm going to go ahead and share it on my screen really quick. It's a really great resource for you if you're one of these people like me, product manager. Maybe you're going to build something on Kubernetes. And what you can get out of this is you can get a place where you can find people that, have gone on the journey, that can share stories, that maybe you run into a challenge and they can help you. Or you can also learn about how to define it and even explain it to your internal stakeholders of like, a lot of people in leadership are not going to know what Kubernetes is, or why does it matter, or, why are your developers having a hard time? So check it out. Really recommend it. And you all have a great day.